Hey everybody, welcome to the All Over Overland show. I'm throwing stuff around. It's just a weird noise outside. It's a little unsettling. Looks like I haven't heard from Lee, so I don't know that he'll be joining us, but we do have Travis waiting in the back. So we'll bring him in just a minute. I hope you guys are doing great. Big shout out to our sponsors, Overland Addict, the Overland Essentials, Midland, Opus, Red Arc, and then people that helped me out along the way, which is Quick Pitch, USA. Check them out. And Mountain Hatch, man, one of my favorite pieces of gear that I have because I have bad knees and it saves my knees. So I think he's ready. Let's bring a Travis on right now. Maybe. I don't know if you're frozen up or if it's me. Yeah, I don't see any. You're okay.
Yeah, I can see you.
How are you, buddy?
Can you see me but hear me? What's the word?
It's now starting to come in.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're gonna be all right. So I want to jump right into the first thing because everybody probably wants to know how the Pacific Northwest Overland Rally or Overland Expo went.
Yeah, man, I was there. We had the show. It was a great show. Great time. Enjoyed the show. Booth was good. Had good response to a good crowd. Sort of the afterlife was great and had a lot of fun, man. It was a good vibe. Great show. Vendor turnout was good. Crowd turnout was good. Had a lot of fun, man.
Right on. Now we are getting a little bit of lag in there, so I don't know. Are you using your cell phone?
I am on Wi-Fi.
Okay, because it's like an old time internet feed. Okay. I see you good, but I can't hear you. Just a minute. Okay. All right. While he tries and goes to fix some things, we'll just kind of hang and bullshit a little bit. So, I put the fridge in the back seat, and I think I'm gonna like it there. I just gotta build a deck for it to strap it down so that it's a little more secure. It's tight enough that it's not gonna move around, but you know, if there was something to happen, it would come loose. And if it's not just ratcheted down or something, it's just gonna, wear into the carpeting or the seat that's next to it. So don't want that to happen, or the door. But it's been super hot. Gas prices are starting to go down. I just paid $1 or $4.01 per gallon of gas. Not too far from where I live. I probably shouldn't say where because then it'll be overrun and there won't be any more gas and then I'll be sad and it'll be bad. I am planning on going out this weekend, either on Saturday or Sunday, most likely Saturday. I'll have to see what my daughter wants to do, but and at least hitting some back roads. It's been so long. I need to go out. It's going to be hot. It's going to be 100 degrees and gas prices are insane, but I think I'm just going to have to try and do it. So let's try and bring Travis back on. Oh, that looks so much better.
Good?
Oh, yeah.
All right, go ahead. Move like 3 feet closer and switch to the cell phone.
That's funny. It's just the way it sometimes works. So, you said that it was a blast. So now we were both in Loveland, and that's my only kind of template as far as how the Overland Expos have gone. I've been obviously
Right.
to more Expo and stuff like that, but since that's kind of my reference point, how would you describe it compared to the one in Loveland?
Yeah, it was very similar. I mean, when I went to Loveland, I was just walking around hanging out,
Yeah.
but the vibe was similar. I had a great time. As a vendor, I got some time to walk around, hang out, check things out too, go see some other booths. But from hanging out in the booth, just like it more, it was comparable. It was really cool. It was nice to see some different vendors around, and similar response from the crowd. I felt like the community vibe was the same, which honestly, I felt like was kind of a lot to live up to from my more experience. I really felt like a super warm welcome, and I had a great time and enjoyed more. And I was worried that I wouldn't get that same vibe with the Overland Expo being a little bigger, but it was still a great community vibe, great response from the crowd, great response from the vendors, and just I don't know, just an overall Overland networking type of thing. It was a lot of fun, dude. I had a great time.
Yeah, I had a blast last year at the Loveland, the Mountain West.
Right.
I got to kind of tag along as a vendor because I drove one of the Opus trailers up there for Lee.
Right.
And dude, like the parties they have afterwards.
Yeah.
We're kind of fun. You walk by, some vendor space, and they're like, "Hey, you want to come over and get a drink?" Like after everybody's gone,
right?
And stuff like that. So it was a blast, and we camped right there when we were at Loveland. So
sure. That thing is true
nice.
that you don't have to take any food with you when you go to these things. You just people.
Well, I have a rule that I don't need to take food with me when I go camping if I'm in a crowd anyway.
Yeah.
I always get fed. There's always somebody that makes too much food.
Right. There's always that guy. I'm not that guy. I am not one. If you
cooking, I'm not that guy.
Yeah. If you want to eat Spam and bread and eggs, I'm your guy. But it's always basics with me. I'm not the chef. Don't count on me for food if you come out with me.
On the Enchanted Rockies trip, we would stop and have lunch and stuff, and a lot of the guys made kind of a big deal about making lunch, and I'm standing over there with Ritz crackers and peanut butter.
Right.
Like that's my lunch every day, the 7 days or whatever it was that we were on the Enchanted Rockies trail.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, "Dude, how do you do it?" And I was like, "Dude, I'm having too much fun. I don't want to eat. I want to just keep doing stuff."
Yeah. Oh, that's totally me, man. Totally me.
Now dinner, I'm usually ready for dinner.
Yeah.
But that's why I usually have Lee with me, because I just make him cook.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. He offered me a Red Baron French bread pizza while we were there. I saw him, went over and hung out with him. I was like, Lee's going to be making something good. I caught him on like Red Baron French bread pizza night. Yeah.
That's too funny. You should have caught him on the little pizza rolls when he puts them on just barbecues them.
Right.
Those are good. I'm shocking because I'm not a pizza roll guy.
Yeah. I know. I kept thinking I was going to catch him for something good. He stopped at State Park here in Fruita, my hometown, on the way up. You actually sent me a message. Hey, Lee's in town. You should hook up with him. So I went and saw him, and same thing. I was like, I'm skipping dinner. Lee's going to have something good. No, didn't happen, man. Yeah.
Now he's always cooking me steak and mushrooms.
I don't know. I'm not worthy. Not worthy yet, I guess.
I don't know about that. I don't know what his game plan is. He was telling me that he was like, dude, fuel was insane for him.
Yeah. It was for us on the way up too. And we had everything else gone. So I had to drive the power wagon up. So the least fuel efficient thing I had.
Yeah.
Had to take it up there. And then we came back and we went through the what is the Alvarado Desert or something, a playa that's out there. Sure. And on the way back, and there's Fields, Oregon, which is kind of central, Oregon, out in the middle of nowhere. We had to stop there for gas, and you have to pump your own, or they pump your gas for you in Oregon. So we stopped outside the store and waited, and nothing happened. Finally, we went in, and they were like, "Nah, you don't have to do that here. Well, just fire up your own gas, pump it, take a picture of the pump, bring it in, and we'll pay for it." It was $8.15 a gallon for fuel in Fields, Oregon, so a little pricey.
Do you hear what I paid the other day?
No.
You're gonna be so mad.
Probably
$4.01.
Dude. Yeah, my price here in Grand Junction's $4.83 today. I got gas today, $4.83.
I mean, that's my big worry, and I mean, you probably know, or you could tell us at least on your side of it. Gas prices are, I would imagine, keeping people at home. But I think also there's a lot of people that were planning on a bigger vacation that now aren't And so they're like, well, we can suck up the cost of gas because we're not going to go to whatever.
Right, right. Yeah, that's kind of what we see here. I mean, I'm a rental businessman. Gas prices affect us in weird ways. And it's kind of been a swing of like cancellations and new reservations of people that, I mean, strangely enough, and kind of as a shame, it does price certain people up and price certain people down.
Yeah.
Which is kind of an interesting thing about this industry. I mean, one of my goals is to make this affordable for people. And, you don't have to go buy a $72,000 vehicle or whatever you want. You can come and rent something to be able to get out affordably. But I've certainly noticed with my customers, and gas prices, it's changed my swing. I've seen people cancel reservations and new ones come in. Just like you said, it's sort of this flux of things going back and forth of, who can afford it and who can't. And really,
we're not going to Italy this year. We're going to go rent these trucks and drive around for
sure.
a week or two. Yeah,
sure. Yeah, and I don't know how to get that message out. I tried it, at the Overland Expo, and to say, hey, I mean, you can rent this vehicle for the price of what normally is a hotel, a night in Moab or wherever,
and not have an experience.
Right, and have
an experience.
Sure. So it's been tough to figure out how to balance that out and really get the word out to people that it's a different way of getting things done.
Well, and let's face it, most people that overland, their vehicles aren't very comfortable. It's bouncy and all that kind of stuff. So it's probably also those people that don't want to drive from East Coast all the way across in their own vehicle.
Right.
And probably maybe even saving money on catching a flight.
Yeah,
rather
totally.
than with gas prices. I mean, I haven't flown in a while or had to pay for tickets, so I don't know how bad they've gotten.
It just depends on, I looked at tickets to fly up to Oregon just for comparison. If I wanted to fly into Reading or whatever, or Redmond, and go to the expo, and it would have been about as much round trip for me to fly up and fly back as it was to drive the rig up and back, or actually a little bit cheaper for me, but I had one other guy go with me. So it was kind of comparable. If both of us would have flown up, of course we wouldn't have any rig at our booth, but prices were comparable. So it seems like with two people, maybe it's effective to drive. If you're by yourself, definitely effective.
You're doing the family thing.
So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Did you happen to bring yourself a beverage this evening? You touched something. You can't be touching stuff. You froze up on me. You can't touch stuff, man. You're still touching stuff.
Oh, there it goes. There from one side to the other.
Yeah, you can't touch anything, man.
My right arm's going to be so exhausted by the time.
Oh, you're holding it.
I'm holding it. Yeah. Did I what? Go ahead. Get your question in.
Now I don't really remember. No, I'm thinking, what was the deal? I don't even remember. I think I just said something about, like family. It's obviously, you got a bunch of kids with you.
Sure.
The tickets and all that kind of stuff of flying.
Right. Hey, speaking anyway, of family, do you know where you were 19 years ago today?
Dude, where I was, did you get married 19 years ago today?
I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, happy anniversary.
Thank you. Yeah, Mackenzie's going to kill you later, by the way.
What? Because I was late on telling you guys that I was coming?
No, because I'm doing a podcast with Mike Hyden on my anniversary.
That's why you were like, sure, ...
Yeah.
I didn't put it together.
What do the dots mean? I always do that just out of habit, but it means something, doesn't it?
Yeah, it means like, oh, fucking okay. All right, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to be my go-to for you from now on then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, I learned one today from Sarah, the girl that I'm dating. We were having a conversation, and I said, what are you doing today? Because we were talking about killing all the grass that we own in my place and her place and not having to deal with mowing. And she was going to turn her sprinkler on at like 2:00 in the afternoon just to burn the hell out of the yard,
Yeah.
And there was also another conversation we were having, and I said, well, what are you guys doing later? And I'd already asked that, but because of the killing the grass, I asked it again because the kids are going to play in a sprinkler. Anyway, it with the little star above it means like I've already said that.
Gotcha. Told you so.
I had to look it up.
Yeah. We're going to hear that a bunch. If Mackenzie finds out, that's like all I'm going to see from now on.
Yeah. Well, my bad. Sorry. That's too funny though. Awesome.
Yeah.
And then we've got the legendary Kent and Anita's thing coming up.
Oh yeah, totally, man. Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to seeing you. Be seeing you in a few days.
It'd be a good time. It'd be a good
Right,
time.
right.
I think Sarah's gonna get to go. So yeah, it's all gonna work out. I've been sending you rigs to buy, and I haven't heard if you've bought any of these rigs yet.
I have not. No, as much as I would love to. You've been sending me some amazing rigs, and it's always been like a big thing. I want to add some sort of like, classic
Unique.
to the fleet.
Yeah.
And you've been sending me a lot of like classic rigs to throw into the fleet.
I think there's like, Airbnbs have to be like, there has to be one that's really weird. I think you need one that's really weird.
I would love to have one that's weird. If anybody's heard of Big Blue, throw a comment or something in. I can't see the comments. I don't know how to get the comments up on here. But Big Blue,
I haven't
you've ever heard of Big Blue from Tad Johnson out in Oregon. Big Blue is pretty cool. I think it's an old Chevy square body, 4-door, super cool rig, man. It's all home built DIY, really nice rig. It's got so many features that you just wouldn't expect out of that old square body rig. And my first truck or car was a '87 Chevy square body short wide. So I love that thing. So I've got a heart for those old square bodies. So that rig just kind of speaks to me, man. Most everybody calls it Big Blue. So if you get a chance to take out Big Blue, you'll see it. And Tad, he volunteered at the Pacific Northwest Expo. So he's around. He's a big part of the community. So you'll see him out there. If you haven't seen Big Blue yet, look for him. Casey Lights did an interview with him while he was there. So if you follow Casey Lights, hopefully they'll put something on where you can get some glimpses.
Now, what Big Blue's a big Chevy? Is that what you're saying?
Right. Yeah.
Did you?
Not sure exactly what year it is, but it's like a 80, 84, 85, something like that.
Gotcha. Yeah. Did you see the Ford over at the Go Fast Camper booth?
I did. Yeah. Yeah.
I saw pictures of it. Yeah, obviously I wasn't there, but I knew of it before it was there. I told Lee, I was like, dude, you need to grab this guy. You need to tackle him. You need to take all kinds of pictures, ask him 100 questions. Everything about it, because it's so cool what he's done. He's got a mid-late 60s model Ford truck.
Right.
4-wheel drive, set up old school, all the old emblems, nothing flashy on the wheels, just like a farmer would have it. Like a farmer would have it. But he's got a camper on it. And it's a homemade, like, Airstream looking camper. And then he's got a Go Fast camper on top of it that's been cut. The top's been cut open so he can stand up when everything's pushed up. Yeah,
that thing's beautiful. Actually, I set up booth, walked over. I got the first day of the expo over with, and I was locked down to my booth the whole time. And then end of the day, sun was kind of going down, and I got to walk by. And I looked over, and I was like, oh, man, that's a sharp rig. Oh, look, this dude thinks so, too. There's somebody taking a picture of him. Scott Brady taking a picture of that rig. So when Scott Brady, Overland Journal, is out there taking a picture of the rig, you got a good one.
It's pretty cool. I had a 63 Chevy pickup truck in high school, and it made me think I need to go find me a 63 Chevy pickup short wide bed. I guess probably want that long bed, but 4-wheel drive, or just they put a lot of them on S10 frames. I guess the size is right.
Right. Yeah, and I saw there were at least two cool. There was I don't remember whose booth it was, but there was an old square body red Chevy that was set up not too far from me. It would have been in the B zone. That was also super cool. Loved that rig too. It was really, really nice. Really well set up. And I don't remember that one. I wish I could remember whose that was. I would have liked to look it up.
Last year, the year before, there was a lot of interest in, and I don't remember who it was that built it, but had an old Blazer, like an old Blazer with a soft topper on the top, and everything was pretty old school looking. And I like that look. I really, really like that look.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think old school is cool. The cool thing about the guy with the Ford is everything that he has for camping, other than the Go Fast camper, is period correct.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That rig looks just like it drove off a farm and got a Go Faster on top of
Yeah.
it. You know, it's pretty rad, dude.
Now,
It's a sharp rig.
would you be able to in the state that it was in with the stuff that he had, would you be comfortable taking that out into the woods?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Now,
I mean,
not that it wouldn't make it, but like that you would mess it up.
no, I would be fine
Okay, good.
taking it out.
Right on.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know any rigs like that, you know, I mean, it's a matter of, you know, mechanical sympathy, your own abilities, you balance those things out and you make something work. So you just sort of have to balance those things out for yourself. I feel like that's something everybody needs to identify with. I mean, I was telling you, I bought a 99 Chevy Tracker. I'm fixing to, you know, go out and do white rim with. I paid $1,000 for it. And that's the thing, man, is as long as you feel comfortable in that rig and you've got the mechanical sympathy and the ability to fix it to go with it, it's what you need to go have fun.
Mechanical sympathy. I like that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's one of my favorite terms. So, you know, when I worked for the Park Services Ranger and did 4-wheel drive instruction, you know, I mean, most 4-wheel drive instructors, a lot of them will know this term or will throw it around. It's mechanical sympathy. You know, you know what you can do with your rig, and you're willing to balance that out with your own skills and abilities and make it work for you. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to take a Chevy Tracker out there and I'm not going to throw it around like I do the Jeep Gladiator. I'm going to, you know, take a little gentler time with it, and I've got you know, on the flip side of like my Ranger world, you know, we call it the knowledge, skills, and abilities. Something goes wrong with that tracker, you know, I'm fairly confident with a few nuts and bolts, just about most of the time I can throw it back together and keep moving, and I can get off the road and, you know, get something repaired without having a $2,000 towing bill. So that's what I always tell people is, man, if you can do this, if you've got the, you know, mechanical sympathy to go along with your knowledge, skills, and abilities to make this happen, yeah, do it. Go out there and make something happen. You don't have to spend, you know, all this money, but there is a certain amount of knowledge, skill, and ability that goes with that. If you can fix things, if you can get things going back on your own, great, man. You know, that's a much less, you know, money you have to fit up front for something that you call more reliable. You know, everything breaks. It's about our ability to put it back together. As long as you put it back together, it's as reliable as you or I. You know.
Right on. I like that. I like that phrase. That's pretty awesome. So now Lee and I were talking, we had our show where we talked about vehicle maintenance. And for you, what does that vehicle maintenance look like whenever a vehicle, I think we talked about this before, but since we just had this conversation with Lee 2 episodes ago, I think, what does your vehicle maintenance look like when a vehicle comes back in after it's been gone?
Right. I mean, you can think of it a few ways, you know. I mean, if you're out for 7 days on a trail somewhere, you're going to throw a certain amount of maintenance into your vehicle while you're out there on the trail, at least inspection time. Kind of inspection time is maybe a little bit different than maintenance, but I kind of think of it, I have to think of it the same way. Because when renters take out, you know, my rigs, I don't know if they're inspecting them or not. They're not. That's wrong. That's a wrong answer. They're not inspecting them while they're out there. You know, that's one of their checkout questions. Yeah, right. Yeah. So there's you know, one of their checkout questions is you know, just fluids. It's training. There's a training spot on the checklist that says fluids. And essentially I say, can you check oil? Can you check transmission fluid? Can you check these things? If a check engine light comes on, can you tell me if there's something amiss here? And if not, I explain how to do that. But that's really my only expectation of them while they're out in the field. So you know, maintenance is critical. For me, it's a 90-day inspection every day. Every vehicle at a very bare minimum gets inspected every 90 days, and it goes through service, whether it needs or not, every 90 days. That means going through suspension bolts, brakes, fluids, you know, everything, whole 9 yards, wheel lugs, all that stuff. So it's about an hour and a half normally for me to go through that inspection. At a minimum, it has to be done every 90 days. Typically for me, it's closer to every maybe 40 days that I get through the vehicle completely. And then before it goes out, each and every time, it really almost gets the same inspection each and every one of those times that it goes out. And whether I was renting or whether I was taking it on my own, you know, that's probably what I do. I don't know, it's tough to think about expectations from a manufacturer and think about how they want that vehicle to be used and what
Mm-hmm.
their expectations is for normal use and how they build that maintenance schedule. And I'm throwing vehicles out in a tough rental environment where people don't always know exactly what they're doing with these things. And, so the maintenance schedule, it's got to go up. It's got to be more than that.
Yeah. Oh
But
yeah. No, I figured it was probably pretty often. I like that you have a 90-day or sooner,
right.
because other than walk arounds and everything, I mean, everything's going to be fine. Like with the Sprinter vans that we had, we were servicing those every 10,000 miles, but
Yeah.
that was all highway mile, and that was all just me driving the truck.
Right. Right.
So we knew how it was being driven and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, whenever you don't know.
Right. Yeah, and that's a unique thing to us too. Is we just we manufacture for our trucks, for the Gladiators, for the Power Wagon, we manufacture our own bed racks, and it's a solid one piece construction, and we've sold 5 of them now. I'll build them for people that ask if it's really what they want, if it is truly what they want. I mean, they don't look as tactical and as cool as a lot of the other bed racks that are out there, admittedly so, and they're probably a little more expensive. The ones that I've sold are more expensive, but there's essentially 3 bolts in the bed rack on the Power Wagon, and that's the 3 grade 8 bolts that hold it down to the bed rail on each one of the rails. But because again, that vehicle's been out for 21 days at a time. Sometimes I know renters aren't going to check, mounting brackets or anything else, anything that's on that thing. They're not going to be inspecting to make sure those bolts are still holding that rack together. I don't want it sliding into the cab of my truck. So it's a solid one piece construction. It's all one rack. So that's part of the, a little different strategy in the rental world that we just have to use.
It's funny, whenever I was talking to Lee, when we were having this discussion, I was asking him, because he's on the road all the time.
Right.
And I was like, so are you doing your maintenance program? Because no.
He told me he wasn't doing that. When I saw him last year, I was like, oh, yeah, how's it going, man? So when'd you maintenance this thing? What maintenance,
Yeah, exactly. Pretty funny. Hey, I did have a question that popped up on something, popped up on TikTok that I saw earlier. And it's just a fun question. People in the gallery can answer too. But do you feel dumb? He just left. He's been playing with his phone. He was up walking around, doing his thing. Huh. Okay, well, let's look at some of what we got here. Great Truck Big Blue. Chad, what up, guys? I think that probably we've seen these. I'm pretty sure we saw hides on there. Lee's not here, so it makes it a little harder for me to go through these whenever I have a guest on. Good luck at running a lot more than they used to. That's my dream truck, Chevy crew cab with the diesel. Since you left, we were just going through the comments a touch. What I was going to ask you, I got this from a TikTok earlier, and the guy says, do you feel dumb being the only person stopped at a stoplight? Like, if you're at a stoplight and you're the only one there for miles and you can see.
I do. Yeah, I do. When it comes to talking about things like fuel efficiency, we're talking about, technology that kills our cars when we're at a stop sign or a stoplight. But yet we'll sit at a stoplight with nobody at it for, 4 minutes while we wait for the lights to cycle. Yeah. Hey, I had a question for you. You're an Oklahoma guy. You stop at a 4-way stop sign. You stop with a vehicle neighboring you on either side or the other. Who has the right of way?
Me.
You stop at the same time. You hit the right of way. I knew you'd say that.
It's the person on the left.
When I took driver's ed, it was the person on the right. When I took my driver's test, it was the person on the right. How old are you?
I'm 46.
Are they just flip-flopping on us? This is the government flip-flopping.
I'm pretty sure it's on the left. Did you find out I was right or something?
You're well, at least according to my 14-year-old daughter.
At least according to what you looked up. Yeah.
Well, I didn't look it up, but my daughter, maybe I'm just wrong altogether. Maybe it's my old age catching up with me. But she was like, Dad, I was studying for my driver's ed test. and it says, to throw me wrong, right is
David's
correct.
telling
Thank
me
you,
right
David.
is correct.
Yeah, it's right. I'm going with David. David's right on this.
I'd say left. Both will look both ways and floor it. Oh, that's
That's
probably
there you go. Yeah, right has the right of way. Yes.
Like I said, I go. Actually, what I do is I look around, and since I don't trust people, I let them go.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Unless it looks somebody about as trusting as I am, and they wave me, then I'll go.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
yeah. That's
I mean,
that
in
totally
a motorcycle, whenever I rode motorcycles, I would sit there and wait on old women. No,
Yeah.
I am not going. And that sounds terrible to say, old women, but
you're being
really.
You're a gentleman.
Yeah, I'm a gentleman. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they didn't look like they could slam on the brakes quick enough to stop before they hit me, I let them go through.
Yeah. Nice.
If they look like they probably should retest for driving, I let them go first.
Oh yeah. I'm looking forward to that day.
Or who's the more aggressive? I'm always the more aggressive. Like if we're stopped and everybody's looking at everybody, I just go. Like once I see the other people look, I go.
Yeah. If people are paying attention, I don't know. It's weird.
I do have a big ass bumper on the front of my truck though too.
That's the way I always think of it. Oh, these people are nice. They're letting me go. I'm like in the power wagon cruising, I'm like, they don't want to get run over by this thing.
Whenever I would get on the highway in high school and I had my old pickup truck that was loud, I mean loud, and it was just poo-poo brown, like a light tan poo-poo brown, gross looking color. Had some cool looking wheels on it though. When I'd get on the highway, people would get out of the way and just let me merge because I look like the dude in Raising Arizona coming down the road on a motorcycle, but I was in the truck. Like it looked like that crazy guy. You couldn't see me, but it looked like that crazy guy. So people, they got out of the way. Old trucks, they don't mess around with those.
Yeah, and Raising Arizona, if you're watching on the podcast and you haven't seen Raising Arizona, if that's before your time, you need to go back and watch Raising Arizona.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie. Great movie.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me look at my phone, see if I had anything else that we needed to go over for sure. Oh, yes, of course. I didn't look at it because I'm always broke, but today was Amazon Prime Day. Did you buy anything?
Ooh, I didn't. No, Mackenzie told me that this morning. She's like, it's Prime Day. If you want anything, now's your chance. And I didn't get any Prime Day.
The only thing that I wish I had prepared myself financially for so that I could go spend money was I need a new power system. I've got the fridge in there and it only charges whenever, like I've got it plugged in one of the lighter things.
Right.
And it only charges when it's driving. So it only cools when it's on.
Yeah.
And I kind of knew that, but I thought maybe one of those would stay on longer. Maybe there is one. There's like 4 in my truck. 3 or 4. But I don't want to do that. I'd rather have a Jackery, a Goal Zero, Blue Yeti, something.
Sure.
Or a whole Red Arc system. I mean, hey, Red Arc, we do talk about you all the time. In the truck. But I think I want portable so that whenever I go and hang out with you, I can pull the battery out and we can hook everything up and have a podcast there camping. Yeah,
totally. We do both. We've got a couple of rigs with dual battery systems and Red Arc stuff. And then we've got the rest of our rigs, the rest. We have Jackery, so we can just move them back and forth between rigs. I mean, there's no wrong answer. I mean, especially if you're just running a fridge. I think it seems like it's a good answer to opt for a portable battery solution, battery bank of some sort, and throw that out there. I just got through building a rig for a guy. Super cool. Put a little Red Arc system. Shout out to Red Arc for simplicity of installation because I can do it. But I just built a cool rig for a guy, a Ranger trimmer, and he has a service dog. The service dog's a Great Dane, and it goes in the back of the truck. So there's no space in the back of the truck for anything other than the dog. So I had to build a dual battery system to run a little air conditioner unit and some other requirements that he had that went into this truck. And this system had to be pretty hefty. It's the biggest one I've ever built. Man, it's just so easy. It's just so easy with, Red Arc stuff is just like plug and play stuff. If you want, just simple installation, really easy to use. I'm no genius when it comes to that stuff. Everything was super simple with lithium battery system, and inverter, all that really easy math I'm no good at math. Super easy calculations to put together and figure that stuff out. Really, really easy stuff to plug and play. Shout out to those guys because
I can put out fires and help you survive in the forest.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. And we can plug TV and watch whatever we want out there.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right on. Yeah. I was telling Lee, I was like, I'd love to have both. I'd love to have the Red Arc system, especially if I was I'd like to have the Red Arc system if I knew that I was going to be gone for longer periods of time.
Yeah.
And more stationary in those longer periods of time. I think that's where the Red Arc really shines, is that you don't have to move around, especially if you have lithium batteries or something like that, good solar, because of the way they manage all the power. You don't lose it. You're not losing as much.
Right.
So
yeah, totally. I got to ask, Chad's comment is up here still from my end. Who is the aggressor has the right of way? So Chad, if it was you and say Mr. T at the intersection, what's your call? Throw it up there.
Is that who's the more intimidating? Is that really what it should be?
I don't know. It's just aggressor. If he's willing to say, I pity the fool who don't let me cross the stop sign.
That's funny.
Then
that's funny.
Let him have it. Boom. Pity the fool who don't. Yeah. My favorite was the Pee Wee Herman version of I pity the fool who don't eat my cereal.
Dude, I do not remember that. I was an off and on again Pee Wee the Herman fan. I love the movies, but I didn't like the TV show. Right. This was the Pee Wee's Big Adventure. It's like the only line. I probably know some more, but I'm not telling you that. But I know that one. Yeah, keep that to yourself.
Yeah.
Keep that way down deep to yourself. Well, right on. Well, I don't want to keep you too much longer because you need to go and make sure that I'm not in trouble.
We're fine. Yeah, we're okay. We got tomorrow.
No, I know her.
Right.
And I've actually got a set date to see her.
I know, right? You're fine, or I'm fine. You might be the one who's in trouble.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
I tried to make it sound like I was really worried about you, but really what it is that I don't want my ass kicked whenever I.
Yeah. What about? Let's cover some cool stuff right quick. Did you have anything to talk about? Did you see anything cool, or Lee see anything cool that he saw at the expo that's like, something new? I saw two things that I thought were pretty cool.
Other than seeing some of the Step 22 gear stuff that he's got something that hasn't been released yet, with the mollies and all that kind of stuff. Right. I haven't had a chance to talk to him. He was going to be camping with the Primal Outdoor guy and a few other people, and thought maybe if one person goes, they have Starlink, maybe they would all be able to join us. But I guess that didn't happen. But other than that, he said they were pretty it was a pretty steady crowd coming.
Yeah.
Through the booth the whole time.
I saw two things that I thought kind of had some promise. One was Dometic has released a water container that if you fit two of them together, they'll mount inside a regular style jerry can containers. They're the same dimensions as a regular jerry can. And then they have like compatible, I think it's close to compatible. I didn't get a real good story on it, but it's similar to like Camelback plug and play type connections on them with soft hoses. And you can plug that into like a faucet, and they've worked with Ram Mount to produce a magnetic one that you can just suction cup to the side of your vehicle. So you can have like those water cans in a jerry mount container, and you can just suction cup this battery powered faucet to the side of your rig with a Ram mount, and you hold your hands underneath it, and you got water pumping out of it. And that was pretty cool. I haven't seen those before. Maybe it's not as new as what they let on, but I thought that was super awesome.
They had a prototype, like maybe an early prototype at Loveland.
Okay.
Yeah, they had one, and I was with Chad, with Overland Addict, and he's a dealer, and he knows the guy, and so I don't know if we saw something, like if I saw something I wasn't supposed to, or if it was, they had it there, so they were showing people, but it could have been like, hey, look, come here, let me show you something.
Sure.
But those are cool because they can be moved around, and they've just
Yeah.
got a hose going to the water, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, to me, it struck me like is like the portable battery bank of water systems.
Yeah.
For me, I liked it because, of course, I can, move that from rig to rig.
Now, what you saw, did it have the water connected to it?
Yeah.
See, I saw something that was just a faucet.
Gotcha.
And it had a hose, and so it had a magnet on it, and the idea was that you could move that within whatever distance of the water, and you'd have to move that damn water around all over the place.
Right. Well, this was essentially the same thing, where it's a hose that goes out to the little water container, and
Gotcha. Okay.
So maybe it was the same thing, but I like that.
Gotcha.
And then there was dang it, I was gonna write. Let me see if I still have the webpage open here.
I want the magnetic door thing that it magnetized to the side of the vehicle, and then it comes down to the little table.
Right. Yeah, those are cool. Darn it, I don't guess I still have this open here. But there's a guy, I wish I had him here, that is making an inflatable awning. So you use a pump just like you'd pump up a stand-up paddle board or something, and it's an inflatable awning. The model number of the awning was the AH30. It's really pretty small. If you've got a camper van or something, it's going to cover essentially just the double doors of the camper van.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's got some bigger models coming. But again, from rental world side, I'm always worried about people ripping an awning off of one of my rigs.
That's something that Opus has, because they have the air technology for their
right
for their tents, but they have one, and I've only seen it on Opus has only made it for their trailer.
Right.
They haven't produced it to be an actual awning that people can put on their vehicle, but that's an interesting idea. There's also I've seen the pump up camper.
Yeah.
Like the camper shell that's inflatable, that's made out of the paddleboard kind of material.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know. I saw some, it was much more sturdy than I thought. And I just saw some innovation that's going to be in that realm that looked attractive to me, Well,
I'm blown away by Opus. And I mean, I've been in that Opus trailer when we've had wind and all kinds of stuff. I never thought that would hold up.
Right. Yeah, man, those things are super. I've got a customer here in town that's got one, and went out to help him work on it one day, and it was windy as could be, man. And that thing was just rock solid in the wind. I was super impressed.
Yeah. Huh. So an inflatable awning.
Yeah. First thing I thought,
would it roll out and have legs, or was the legs also part of the inflated thing?
The legs were also inflatable. So you pump it up and it all inflates. I think it's all one unit. So you just hook up to one point on it, start pumping up, and the legs were inflatable too. And the legs are to 45, so they can connect back to whatever the base of the awning is. And then they can go up and down. There's just a strap that hangs down that you can strap to the frame of the vehicle or whatever you want, and you can adjust the arms that support the awning, up and down.
No more broken legs, broken poles.
Yeah, you can have too much to drink, pass out, and you don't have to worry about your awning
not hurt yourself
and everything now.
Not hurt yourself and crashing the whole thing.
Totally. Your bases are covered, Michael.
That's a good point. I'm glad you made that. And then if a big guy like me is not, wanting to show you that, I've got let's say I have the wrong awning and I've seen the video where the guy's doing pull-ups on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Right.
Hein was doing pull-ups on the quick pitch one. And I was like, I don't think I should do that.
Right. Yeah, we were.
Hein was like, why? What do you, speaking in his accent, which is cracking me up.
Right. Yeah. We were across from what are they? Bushcraft? Maybe, I don't know. Something.
Okay.
Dang it. Who are they?
There's Bushcraft, there's Backwoods, there's
I think it was Bushcraft. And they're across. Probably. Yeah, I don't know. But really cool looking stuff. They were across I stared at them for 3 days across the street from, across the aisle. I can't remember their name now, but super nice guys, and they were making some rock solid stuff, and I was watching those. I was feeling bad for them. It's hot out there, and they were chin upping it off of the awning,
Jeez. Now, let me ask you this, because this was a conversation that a lot of us had after the Loveland and More Expo. Was this more of a consumer show, or was this more like a SEMA show?
I don't know.
Yes and yes.
Somewhere in between. Somewhere in between was kind of my vibe. I got less. I got less feel for like this is just a people want to buy stuff in a vendor show. You know, I walked around. I took my vendor badge off and just walked around, and I didn't get hassled much. You know, from people just buy this, buy that, and whatever. I feel like I was more able to just walk around and check stuff out. Of course, there were those people that they're good salesmen.
Well, I also that and what the stuff that was available. Like, did vendors bring things that people could buy, or was it all like $20,000 things?
Gotcha. No, I felt like it was a good mix, man. It was really a pretty good mix of everything. You know, there was some expensive out there stuff. There were some folks that didn't bring a product to sell, but they were still, you know, selling what they do and working at it. But you didn't get like really just, you know, hassled walking around because they didn't have something that they're just working to sell you before, you know, buy our roto packs before you buy somebody else's roto packs, type of stuff. So I don't know. I feel like it was good. You were able to just walk around and check stuff out and not feel too much pressure. If that's sort of a helpful answer.
Yeah, definitely. Mark Bruce says, "Hey team, he's our red art guy. He knows
nice.
all of his stuff. Like he can draw up stuff, and he makes electricity sound simple."
Right, which I do not.
Yeah, it's he was talking to us, and he just like he spoke Michaelese, and I was just able to easily understand what he was saying. And I mean, I've since then forgotten, but that's my fault, not his fault.
Right. Yeah. Whatever I've explained that made sense off of electricity came from whatever I've read out of the instructions that guy put together.
Probably.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, exactly. So do you have plans for, I mean, we've kind of joked about getting a new vehicle, but do you have plans for expanding or any kind of timetable on that?
Ooh, that's a really good question. And I don't have a solid answer for it. I've made some really good networking connections out there, both at Moore and both at and at Overland Expo as well. And you know, I mean, honestly, in the rental world, there's like two things that I can do. You know, there's like this I really get two kinds of customers. You know, I get somebody who's just an intro to this, and we try and provide like a simplistic setup that they can grow from to make sure they have a good experience. You know, we don't overwhelm them with a bunch of gear and things. And then we get somebody that's a try before you buy type of customer.
Yeah.
And I've had interest from some very big name companies to want to put products out to their customers that are try before you buy that, you know, they're willing to maybe let me get my hands on those products and work as a representative for them to get that product out to other folks. So I'm going to just kind of be patient and see how those things develop and hope that maybe some of those things come to fruition, because it'll make really amazing vehicles for me that I can probably offer at a fairly affordable price. And if you take those vehicles, maybe that's going to translate into, you know, a little credit towards the purchase of something you're thinking about buying. Because I know all of us, anybody that's watching this, if you're into this, you know, overlanding thing at all, you've done that. I mean, I have a whole, you know, shelf of stuff over here in the shop that's sitting there. Some of it I use, some of it never gets used. That you just don't know if you want that. Is that piece of gear right for you? How much money have we wasted on stuff like that?
Utensils. I couldn't tell you how many forks and spoons I have.
Oh, totally simple stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, people will come back and they'll be like, you know, hey, I'll ask them for critiques. Hey, did you have any critiques for me? And they'll be like, well, you could have put 4 of that spoon or that spork inside there. You know, your forks and spoons don't match. I'm like, yeah, you got 4 different brands of forks and spoons, didn't you? And they'll, you know, and they come back and they don't catch on. You know, once I explain it, they're like, oh, okay. You know, but I'll be like, you know, I'll say, which one are you going to go buy now?
Yeah.
You know,
which one did you like the best?
Sure. No matter what it is, people come back and that's what they'll say, you know, it's so funny because nobody wants the same fork. Nobody wants the same spoon. They all like something different. And so it's great. To me, it's a great learning experience. And you can just paint that for people.
Yeah, I had the idea a long time ago to do tours, take people actually on tours, not just let them, here you go, and nilly-willy with the vehicle, but take people on tours, but have rigs that they could rent that were outfitted, or they could bring their own and just follow us. But the rigs that are outfitted, the people that signed up for that, depending on how many there were, got to, and then maybe I would take a trailer also that had 5 different or 6 different types of camping chairs.
Right.
And the idea was that they were to try one each night.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And then talk about what they thought about them and all that kind of stuff there at the end. But that same way with cooking gear.
Yeah.
And maybe even if you had different vehicles, in my mind, you would have them trade vehicles. The only thing that sucks about that is, well, I got my underwear and blah, blah, blah. Well, okay, here's the 23-0 bag. Here's this bag. You take and you use this one all week, use this one all week, and let's talk about what you felt was good about it and what you felt was not.
Right. Yeah,
so.
it's expensive. Those mistakes are expensive, man. So if you get you don't like, there's a price to pay for it. And if you find something you do like, man, you just hit the jackpot, because it's taken me years of experience, to figure out what I like. And that's been the weirdest thing about doing this for a living, and this rental thing is, I don't know, everybody all my friends are like, really willy-nilly about their preferences on things. They'll be like, oh, I like this, but it doesn't matter. It's not about that. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Now, I'm asking you because I want to know, because that's my business now, is to figure out what people like and how do I share that. And, so I want to know why you feel a certain way about using this, a Walmart pot and pan set versus a GSI set, or vice versa. And why do things work out that way? And it's, man, I got to pry it out of them sometimes.
Well, and it sucks being, well, I say it sucks. This is going to sound like a pity party, and everybody's going to like, oh, poor pitiful Michael. Part of it also kind of sucks being in my position, and probably your position, to where I'm telling people what I feel about the gear.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've got to experience a lot of different gear to be able to give a good explanation of why I do and don't like certain things.
Right.
Rooftop tents,
Yeah.
Different things like that. So here I am, like, part of me would be like, I'd love to be able to just buy the one thing, just have the one thing.
Right.
But I mean, even then I would probably still get stuck with more utensils than I thought I needed, because I got them from all kinds of different companies to try them out. But I have them because there was something I didn't like about it.
Right.
So I was okay with getting something else other than knives. And I can never say it, but the Mischer
knives, the fancy knives.
The fancy knives, yeah, those are heirlooms. Passing those down to the daughter,
right? Sure. Yeah, it's hard to go wrong with something like that. That is just a high quality, I mean, super simple device. I mean, there's not a lot to it. It's just a good, solid product.
Yeah, but then you could go buy, but that same thing, you can go buy a cheaper one.
Yeah.
And it lasts a year, and it looks like crap. And, even if you try and take care of it.
Sure. Well, I think it's weird. I mean, my education's in recreation management, with most people laugh and say, I've learned about gymnastics my whole education, college career, but it's really about what people want, and how, when they are involved in a particular activity, where do they find enjoyment in that skill set? I mean, you can buy pieces of gear which facilitates you getting from A to B better, but it's about the journey in between. And if you don't have the experience that you expect between A and B, you still don't like that product. And you do it for different reasons. Like, you could buy a mountain bike, and you may like a mountain bike for the technological advances that are in the bike, and the technical ability to ride a particular trail, or you may just like that you're out in nature and the bike facilitates that. So those are like a recreational oriented user and a resource oriented user who loves the outdoors. And there's this whole spectrum of people in between, that they're still mountain bikers, but they love it for all different reasons. And so they're going to love different bikes for all different reasons. They're going to love different axes for all different reasons, knives, sleep, whatever it is. Just thinking about like Primal Outdoors, I mean, that guy, it's an awesome channel where that guy uses some primitive skills and other things to get things done. He's camping just like the rest of us, but he's doing it in a little different method sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just about that word of recreation. How are we recreating a sense of who we are in the activities that we do? How does that come out in our personality and in the way we facilitate a particular activity? To me, that's where it's at, man. I have like a super big fascination with gear, building things, and just how we pursue activities based on our personalities and how we throw that out to each activity that we do and see some reflection in that. Super fascinating to me.
Dude, I love that. So I released a podcast today. I hadn't done one in forever, so I felt really bad. But I've been listening and watching the Daily Stoic podcast and a YouTube show. And Ryan Holiday is the guy that runs it, and he talks about Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics and their theory and how they lived life and how they viewed life and they viewed being a good person and all those things. And they always, like, the things they talk about is silence is key, or stillness is key, and that long walks in nature or being alone in nature is one of the best things you can do for your mind and spirituality, soul, your everything.
Yeah.
And I was fascinated with how that relates to overlanding and what we do to get to the stillness.
Sure.
To leave the mess that we have here to get to that stillness. So it's interesting you say that on the psychology of, why certain people would want certain things and need certain things or feel they need certain things.
Right.
Dude, a lot of people just grab a piece of thing and go. And obviously there's people that plan it
right
way more than others.
So. Yeah. No, we should totally have another talk about this sometime, because this is one thing that I'm really passionate about too, is just what the word overlanding means. There's a lot of chit chat about that and whatever, but through my public lands management experience, I think there's a lot of value in what the word overland means. We tend to really just throw it around in a community thing and not overly define it because we don't want to exclude anybody. But when it comes to like a public lands management standpoint, if I'm sitting at a table and I'm making an argument for a particular recreational activity and I want to define it, I really do have this feeling that we need to define overlanding as something. We need to stand out as a community at that table. And if we're willy-nilly about our definition with it, maybe that's not going to happen. But, I think that all falls into how we define things, like you're talking about, stillness and the value of what might be leisure to some, recreation to another, or play. Those are three different types of words. We can all be overlanders, and we can all think that, some of us do it for play, some of us do it for leisure, some of us do it for recreation. So there's a lot of different meanings around why we do that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, if we want to preserve access, if we want a voice that separates us from maybe other off-road or motor-driven activities with a reputation that we don't necessarily want to be associated with, then we've got to find a word that works for us, man.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I've always been an advocate of when people say, overlanding is a bad word. I'm like, it helps unify people.
It does.
It gives people a central thing to be a part of, and maybe there should be levels of overlanding or whatever, but yeah, we need a better base community. I think the community is overall pretty good, but I think you're right. I think there's some people that want to take it really extreme, and then there's some people that want to take it to where it's open to anybody that wants to be in even walk and have a backpack while they're overlanding. That's hiking. That has its thing.
Right.
That has its thing. That has its billion-dollar industry already.
Yeah, and it's spoken for at those tables. Whenever public lands managers are talking about access, they're going to talk about backcountry access for a backpacker. And if we get put into that, if they're talking about backcountry access for vehicle-based travel, are they going to define it as side-by-sides? Are they going to define it as a general off-road term? Or are they going to define it as overlanders? I think it's important for the future of access that we start to look at that and be, not for the good, I don't know, maybe for the overall good of the community. It's a weird thing because, like you said, we don't want to disclude anybody and how they do this out of that term of what we do. We're a welcoming community, but we got to find a way to give us a voice that makes sense and define it with a particular activity. And overlanding seems to be it, but we've got to find a way to hit that and get that seat at the table for us.
Yeah, I mean, we need lobbyists. I'll get paid to go talk to people.
We're sending you right now, dude.
We're what?
Go. We're sending you. You're going.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
I really, it's one of those things. I don't know that I'd want to do that.
Yeah.
It sounds all fun, but then you get sucked into all that stuff and you never get to go do what you like to do.
Yeah. 20 years of public service here, dude. You don't want doing anything to do with it.
Well, yeah, let's revisit that. I'll get with Overland people. It's a guy that I know that has a group that is more philosophical on what it is that we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And I think that may be a great conversation to continue. Just do it already. Look at it.
Yeah, totally.
Famous statement, not all who wander are lost. So vehicle-based overland, vehicle-based. Yeah, I mean, and I will always be somebody to at least ask the question that makes it uncomfortable. Like, can you overland? Can you urban overland? Or is that just car camping? Or is that boondocking? Or is that just being a bum? Or is that what is that? But I'm going to take that and push the boundaries here pretty soon.
Yeah, we could just call it going all over.
Yeah, that's what it is. We're going to go all
over.
It is. All right. Yeah. I think we're going to end on that. That's awesome. Thank you so much for being on here. Everybody, thank you for the chat. Thank you for just being here with us. I appreciate it. We had quite a few people in here, so always appreciate that. Lee, I hope you're having fun making connections and getting some people on the show, because that's why I let you go and do these things. It's up to me. Everybody out there, make sure whatever you do,